The world is changing. Countries are redefining their positions on the international stage. The era of unipolar dominance is fading, replaced by a multipolar reality. Countries are no longer dependent on a single superpower and are seeking a new balance. Regional powers are asserting themselves, challenging the established order. They are building new alliances, holding summits and showcasing their military strength. The conflict in Ukraine is a clear manifestation of this global shift, a proxy war where larger geopolitical forces collide. This conflict is not just about Ukraine, it's part of a bigger picture of changing global power. NATO, created as a bulwark against Soviet expansion, has found new purpose in expanding its influence eastward. The organization has conducted numerous military exercises and expanded its membership to solidify its position. This expansion, driven by the belief that isolating Russia is in the West's best interest, has backfired. Instead of weakening Russia, it has provoked a strong reaction. Instead of diminishing Russia's power, NATO's actions have catalyzed a strong and assertive resurgence. Russia has bolstered its military, revived its economy, and stirred national pride. This has created a more complex world where regional powers are playing an increasingly important role. Not just Russia, China is also emerging as a powerful regional force. With rapid economic growth and projects like the Belt and Road Initiative, China is expanding its influence globally. India is not staying out of this either. With technological and military advancements, along with its rich culture, India is asserting itself as a key regional power. African nations are also rising, with the African Union playing a crucial role in promoting peace and economic development. Africa is becoming an increasingly influential region in the global landscape. The world is witnessing the rise of regional powers, creating a more diverse and complex global picture. Countries are seeking new ways to cooperate and compete, reshaping the world order in the 21st century. NATO's strategy towards Russia stemmed from the belief that a weakened Russia posed no threat. They believed that by weakening Russia they could ensure the security of member states and prevent any expansion from Russia. This led to the alliance's eastward expansion, incorporating former Soviet republics. Countries like Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic joined NATO in the late 1990s, followed by the Baltic states of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania in the early 2000s. The logic was to contain Russian influence and expand the West's security zone. NATO deployed troops and established military bases in the new member states to enhance its military presence and ensure regional security. However, Russia viewed NATO's encroachment as a strategic encirclement. Moscow responded by bolstering its military and deploying countermeasures, including building new military bases and increasing its military presence in border regions. The 2014 annexation of Crimea and the conflict in eastern Ukraine marked a turning point. Russia used military measures to protect its interests and prevent further NATO expansion. What began as a regional conflict escalated into a proxy war, with NATO supporting Ukraine. NATO provided military aid and training to Ukrainian forces to help them counter Russian-backed separatists. While NATO has checked Russian ambitions in Ukraine, it has also pushed Moscow closer to Beijing. Cooperation between Russia and China has increased, with the two nations jointly countering pressure from the West and seeking economic and military cooperation opportunities. Contrary to predictions, Russia has demonstrated remarkable resilience. The Russian economy, initially impacted by sanctions, has adapted and diversified. By pivoting towards Asian markets, Russia has mitigated the impact of Western sanctions. Russia has transitioned from a dependent economy to a self-sufficient one. Domestically produced goods not only meet the needs of its people, but are also exported in large quantities. Russia is now a leading food exporter globally. Russia has embarked on a comprehensive military modernization program. The conflict in Ukraine has showcased Russia's military strength. Beyond economic and military might, Russia has exerted its influence through diplomatic channels. Russia's resurgence has disrupted the existing world order. From the world's sixth largest economy before the war, Russia now holds the sixth position again, and in many sectors it has overtaken Japan's fourth position. If the war continues, Russia's economy could surpass Japan's by the first half of 2025. NATO's actions have exposed weaknesses within the Western alliance. NATO meetings and military exercises have failed to mask the growing cracks within the alliance. Discussions at recent NATO summits have revealed disagreements on strategy and objectives among members. The economic fallout from the conflict in Ukraine has revealed the West's dependence on Russian energy. Gas pipelines and other energy sources from Russia have become a major issue as European nations face severe energy shortages. This has highlighted the fragility of the European economy in the face of geopolitical upheaval. The influx of refugees has strained social welfare systems in Europe. Overcrowded refugee camps and overstretched social services have put immense pressure on host countries. The social welfare systems of many European nations are facing unprecedented challenges as they try to meet the needs of millions of refugees. Right-wing populist movements have gained traction, challenging the political order. Protests and political campaigns by these movements have shaken the politics of many Western nations. Dissatisfaction with current policies and anxieties about the future have fueled the rise of populist movements. The conflict has exposed divisions within NATO, highlighting differing strategic interests. Internal debates and disagreements over approach have weakened the alliance's unity. These differences are not just about military strategy, but also about long-term political and economic goals. Some European nations have hesitated to provoke Russia. This caution reflects concerns about the potential consequences of confronting a major power like Russia. European leaders have had to carefully balance protecting national interests with maintaining regional peace. The conflict has raised questions about NATO's relevance in addressing modern security challenges. These challenges include not only traditional military threats, but also non-traditional security issues, like terrorism, cyber attacks, and climate change. NATO's effectiveness in dealing with these challenges is being seriously questioned. The conflict in Ukraine marks a pivotal moment in international relations. The unipolar moment, dominated by the United States, is fading. Regional powers are asserting themselves, challenging established hierarchies. The rise of China and the resurgence of Russia have created a complex geopolitical landscape. The conflict in Ukraine has accelerated the trend towards a fragmented world. Trust between nations has eroded, making cooperation difficult. Traditional alliances are being tested in this new era of uncertainty. This war has significantly diminished the credibility of the US and the West when they decided to seize Russian assets and transfer them to Ukraine. This hasn't helped these countries. On the contrary, it has eroded trust among nations outside the conflict, especially those with assets held in the US, UK, and other countries. The conflict in Ukraine is a reminder of the limits of military power. NATO's eastward expansion inadvertently pushed Moscow closer to Beijing. The conflict underscores the importance of understanding the historical context and security concerns of all parties. Russia's actions must be viewed through their perception of NATO expansion as a threat. The conflict highlights the need for diplomacy in resolving international disputes. Military solutions often lead to unintended consequences. The world is entering a new era defined by multipolarity and uncertainty. The old rules of the international order are being rewritten. The conflict in Ukraine is a symptom of this larger geopolitical shift. The West must adapt to a world where it is no longer the sole arbiter of power. Dialogue and diplomacy will be crucial in navigating this complex landscape. The future of the global order depends on the choices of all parties involved. The stakes have never been higher. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Leave your comments below. See you next time.